They say that money may not be able to buy you happiness, but it can definitely buy you a very, very fast car. For its cover story this week, Finweek journalists Simona Levet and Jessica Hubbard went behind the scenes to go and find out exactly what's happening on the South African supercar scene and some of the trends that are emerging locally. We're joined on the desk by Simona Levet from Finweek, Paulo Fra, brand manager at Bentley SA, and Rens Rademeier, general manager at Aston Martin. On the line, we've also got Pierre Besson, founder at A1 GT. So let's first off start off with you, Mark. Good to have you back on the desk with me.
Nice to be back.
So this is a flashy cover of the week. Tell us about the motivation behind it.
Well, it was pretty self-serving, I think, because I thought I was going to be able to go and do a little bit of the research behind it, but alas, didn't quite get that one right. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a hell of a lot of interest in the supercar, in the super rich, I think, in South Africa at the moment. People want to know what the rich are doing. Are they bulletproof to this recession? And so we thought, well, best place to start and the most visible thing is to look at supercars. So we sent the girls out to go and have a look and see what the story is behind supercars.
Did you get to ride in one at least?
Unfortunately not. I'm definitely going to have to rectify that. But it definitely is, it's a topic that really captures the imagination. I think, you know, you're not dealing with something that's just a feat of mechanical engineering. It's also a work of art. You know, the idea of the power, the speed, the price tag, and just also getting a bit of an idea of who exactly is buying these amazing machines made it a very interesting topic to look into.
What's the market like, Rens, in South Africa for supercars right now, and I suppose more specifically Aston Martin?
Well, it's still ticking over. Year on year, we've seen growth since the big decline in 2008. Although it be slow, it's still a market worth being involved in.
You're selling lots of cars?
Yeah, comparatively, we're doing all right. We occupying a fairly decent market share in South Africa with Aston Martin. We've got a nice product range. I mean, starting from 1.6 million, which is our Vantage models, and then also our new DB9 that's just been launched at about 2,850. So we've got a fair product offering. It can pretty much service anybody that's in that sort of 1 million rand bracket, you know, right up to the ultra high net worth individuals.
Have you found that it's been quite difficult to, with the recession and that kind of thing? We were talking a little bit off air about the idea that the rich are bulletproof essentially. I mean, have you seen a noticeable change in buying habits? You know,
people of money, although they may have taken a bit of a knock, you know, and they don't have as much as they used to have, they've still got a lot. So the real thing to get past is just the general sentiment around, you know, money spending. So if you make it easy and you create a bit of a social consciousness around your brand, it does make it a little bit more acceptable to drive the brand.
And can you see the emergence of a black ultra-rich coming through in South Africa? I think this has been one of the things we've really tried to dig under, is to see whether we are actually developing sort of this old white money, and is the middle class actually sort of tapping that high end now? Very
much so. I mean, sitting where I've been sitting for the last 8 years, I can see the trends in the market developing, from where the money is being created to who is spending the money. And it is, as you said, you know, definitely an emergence of a new consumer.
Paulo, who's the typical target market that you look at right now in South Africa? And I suppose the same question, are you also seeing the type of buyer and the typical buyer changing in South Africa?
Very, very, very much so. I mean, I echo the sentiments of Rens 100%. I think where Bentley's slightly unique in the supercar come ultra expensive motor car is that Bentley is an aspirational brand that does cater for want of a better word, the super rich. Okay. In recent past, Bentley took a decision to bring on a new line, a new product line, the V8, so the Continental GT V8, which appeals to a slightly younger market. The new and upcoming market that we spoke about recently, the affordability bracket is now closer to the 3 million mark. It's catering for somebody 38 to 45 as opposed to 45 plus. So yes, to answer your question, there's definitely a stronger emerging market coming through into the dealership, more interested in the brand. It's appealing to a slightly younger market as well.
Yeah, it's just interesting also just looking at kind of the what's taking place globally right now, and just looking at, you know, as your story you mentioned Mario Monti placing this tax on super rich car owners, and you know, they're having to be taxed as a result of that, and you're seeing huge amounts of exports from Italy in response to that reform. So you're seeing kind of an impact in the developed world of the recession and austerity, and I suppose a shift towards emerging markets.
That's exactly the trends that we're seeing internationally. So obviously a lot lot of the austerity measures are starting to bite, especially in countries like Italy, which is the home of brands like Ferrari and Lamborghini, where you know, those brands are actually seeing a decline in the sales in those countries. What's happening is that everyone's tapping into the Chinese market. Now, bear in mind that you've got about 1.4 million millionaires in China. So that really makes it an obvious choice as a market for supercar brands. And most of them have been targeting China. Most of them are looking to expand their dealership numbers in the country. And that's even though we are seeing a slight dropping off in the explosive growth that we were seeing in China. I mean, it's still, relative to the rest of the world, is a very healthy growth rate.
Rens, I mean, from an Aston Martin point of view, what type of changes are you seeing when it comes to sales right now globally? Has Aston Martin, the James Bond car of choice, been affected by the austerity and recession, and what's the strategy now when it comes to global sales?
Well, I think the focus is on Africa as such from a manufacturer's point of view. I mean, they are experiencing, as you've rightfully said, the slowdown in China, you know, where everybody expected it to still be growing. It's not growing, but it is slowing down. And if you look at what the banking reports have been out lately, everybody's sort of focusing on, you know, where is the next explosion going to happen? So the natural focus is it's happened in Europe, it's happened in China, so Africa must be next on the hit list. So we're looking at product development that will suit the African continent, and we're looking at marketing strategies that suit the African consumer. For Aston Martin, as you've rightfully said, James Bond does a lot for us. I mean, with the Skyfall flick that's just been launched, I mean, we've leveraged that tremendously in our favor. It's exciting times in Africa. The growth won't be rapid, but what we want to see more is a consistent growth and a sustainable growth.
I've got a simplistic question, but it's one of the things that always fascinates me. I mean, supercars, you know, if you look at the Europeans, you've got great flat roads, you can really use them. I mean, you know, targeting Africa as a market, I mean, it's hard enough driving my, you know, Toyota Yaris around Randburg without falling in a pothole. I mean, like, is there a fundamental, I mean, is there a concern that we don't have the infrastructure to support the investment?
Maybe, you know, north of our borders, yes. But here in South Africa, we've got some tremendous driving roads. Yeah. I mean, you just take a car and drive from here down to Cape Town. I mean, it's one of the best experiences you'll ever have.
And you'll pay 10,000 Rand speeding fine on that journey.
Well, obviously, as part of that, I mean, that is a concern for drivers, is you've bought something that's cost you 4 million Rand. Where do you actually get to use it effectively?
Do your car owners get to use the Bentleys as they would wish and get to use them to, you know, the speeding, get up to the speeds that they allow them to?
Look, I think it's important from a buyer perspective that all these people, no matter what brand they buy from a supercar point of view, they're buying it for two things. It's the passion that comes with it and the performance that comes with it. So yes, everybody's going to buy it to use it. We certainly don't encourage people to overstep the legal marks, but some do. And of course they pay the penalty, so to speak.
Well, let's talk about the kind of investment aspect of all of this, because you know, you've got on the one side, you've got many saying that these got rapid depreciation, pace of depreciation when it comes to the, you know, value of supercars, and then on the other hand, you've got the likes of A1 GT. Who have found a way to create an investment vehicle and a way to kind of make money and see returns out of investing in supercars. So we've got Pierre Besson, founder of A1 GT, on the line. Pierre, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us about the model you're using right now when it comes to creating this investment vehicle for those who want to invest in supercars. Hi,
good afternoon, everyone. Our business is about shared ownership of supercars. So our market is appeals typically to the high-end luxury BMW and Mercedes-Benz owner who would prefer to use the car as a part-time vehicle instead of a full-time vehicle. That is our core target market in terms of our business offering. But in the same sense, we are well positioned to also offer the traditional supercar owner more than one car in terms of what he can spend on his budget. So from a shared ownership point of view is the basis of our business model.
So tell us about how it all works when it comes to shared ownership there.
So typically, a car valued at 3 million Rand, for instance, we would sell portions of that car off to 5, 6 or 7 different clients, and all of them having an equal share in that car. The concept derived from the luxury homes that people buy for holiday homes, for instance. In the property industry, it's called fractional ownership. We've taken that exact same concept and we've drawn it over to the supercar industry.
Well, Pierre, thank you so much for joining us today. That was Pierre Besson, founder of A1GT. Paolo, just throwing to you, just a last closing comment. Talk to us about inventory management in the supercar space, because you buy a car, it's quite expensive to keep it on the floor.
Absolutely. We've got to be very, very careful in how we buy in stock. A lot of it is demand driven, so we will find that a particular line has a certain demand and we will up our stock accordingly. The beauty about Bentley and a lot of the brands is a lot of them are bespoke, so people can design and build them to their own spec. So we would prefer people to actually come and design their car, build it to spec and deliver on order. In that way we reduce the amount of stock holding that we carry and each person gets their own individual car.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Paolo Frau, brand manager at Bentley SA, and Rens Rademeyer, general manager at Aston Martin, and of course that was Pierre Besson, founder at A1GT, joining us on the line.